So good afternoon, one and all. So I'll be talking about internet and gadget use, setting the limit. So this is the outline of the presentation. I will be briefly introducing the topic. Then what are the potential benefits of using the internet or gadget? What are the potential harms, and where to draw the line and how? And then we'll be concluding. So coming to the introduction part. So gadget is actually any small electronic device that has some use or purpose. Even a watch can be considered as a gadget. However, in this presentation, I'm going to focus only on those gadgets. For example, video game console, mobile phone, laptop, TV, etc., which has kind of a screen. So mainly related to screen time. And internet is actually the full form of internet is an interconnected network of all the. So it is actually basically it helps in connecting online. So we'll be seeing what is the scenario currently. So why is it important to know about the internet and gadget use now? So why are we targeting the youth population and why youth people? So as we can see, this is a recent study from India around 2019 to 2020. So as we can see, the most of the prevalence of internet and the gadget use is in the 20 to 29 years age group. 34% of the internet users are in this age group, followed by actually 30 to 39 years as well as the 16 to 19 years. So it is very common in this age group. So is the usage pattern? It is, we know that it is higher, but is this usage the pattern in which they are using, is it safe or appropriate? And also if we look at the psychosocial development over the lifespan, if you see the adolescent, it is a time in the developing a sense of identity, the self-identity as well as the social identity. As well as in the young adulthood, there is a time when they are exploring the relationship and they are developing relationship with others. Thus the internet or the social media is going to affect all these things. So can internet influence the normal social development and impact our behavior throughout the life? And what is the current usage pattern among youth in India? Again, as we can see, if we see in the 18 to 25 age group, we can see that most of the people are using more than 6 hours or at least more than 5 years. And if we look into the less than 18 group, again it is more than 5 years. And if you see for what purpose they are using, so most of the youth are using it for social media platforms, followed by school or college assignments and for teaching, and for learning new skills or courses apart from the school or the college work, connecting to friends, as well as for watching cinema shows, etc. And most of the people are using internet through the smartphone rather than through computer nowadays, all the age groups together. So coming to, we have seen that this is the usage pattern currently. So what are the potential benefits of internet and gadget use? So one, as we also see that the second most common was for educational academic purposes. Yes, internet has led to easy accessibility to educational information. There are a lot of information which we can access with just a click of a mouse. And multimedia can help explain complex concepts more clearly. For example, if we go to the YouTube, when we go for a 3D-based models, we are able to understand very complex problems, very complex biological things very easily. There is also ease of sharing of information among the friends and the teachers. And there's some terminology called micro-learning. This micro-learning approach is also very useful with the software or through the apps, where we make it a small focused learning units. It is kind of a learner-centric approach. So if you look at the forgetting curve, so if we study only once, for example, we have a lecture that is occurring only once. After that, if we don't repeat it, if you don't start reading about it, we are going to forget it. However, with the help of the internet, if we are having micro learning, which we can see repeatedly, for example, it is on some YouTube or through some apps, there are small videos on some topics, then what can happen is, so what can happen is there can be a repetition of those topics, so it can help in better retention. So apart from that, internet, it has also been found that those who are using internet predominantly for studies have higher academic performance than those who are using it for other general purposes. And it has also been found that if people are given internet, and compared to those people who are not using internet at all, people who are using internet are having higher academic performance than those who are not using internet at all. Coming to the other aspects, it also helps in ease of communication. For example, during the COVID pandemic, there had been the internet had been a major panacea through which we can communicate with our friends and family who we have been separated by distance. It also fosters a sense of connection and belonging especially for people who are shy, who have fear of face-to-face communication. It also helps in fostering a sense of connection and belonging. It also helps in making new friends and maintaining friends. If parent and the child co-view some educational materials, they co-play some games together, it also helps to improve the parent-child bonding. And social support platform for people with similar kind of problems. For example, cancer survivors, there are some social support platforms in which they are able to support each other. And there are some blogs for students studying for competitive exam in which they get some tips. So these are the various benefits of internet and the gadget use. Apart from that, we also know that it is used as an entertainment. For example, TV or watching movie together, it helps to improve the family or the social bonds. It also helps in relaxation, and it also encourages creativity. For example, you would have seen that there are a lot of kids who are having YouTube channels. There are a lot of blogging platforms. It gives opportunities to display their talents. So this internet has become a medium through which many youth have used it as an advocacy tool to bring about healthy changes in the society. For example, climate change. There are some youth who are talking about climate change through the internet medium. And it also helps to learn new skills or information apart from the academics. For example, coding, dance, music, etc. can also be learned. And also there are health apps. For example, yoga apps to guide meditation or relaxation therapies, etc. And for job opportunities, apart from the newspaper, we can also search for job they can also use an online job as a part-time. And there are also safety benefits. For example, we have GPS on the mobile, so it can be used for tracking purposes. So females can go out without any safety concerns. And it is also useful for sharing information in case of emergency. There is ease of money transfers, reminders or alarms can be set in it, and also for health monitoring, and also for identity exploration. So as we was discussing that in the case of adolescence, it is a time when there is an identity formation. So internet gives an opportunity where a person can experiment with different identities and different roles in the virtual world through online forums where they can create different types of identities and they can explore how is it going. So what are the potential harms of this internet and gadget use? So in the education, so even though it has been found that it has been helpful, as we can see in India during the COVID pandemic, it had led to a very increased digital divide. For example, people who are from the lower socioeconomic status, who do not have a mobile in the home, or even if they have a mobile, there is only one smartphone or one mobile through which they can access the internet. There are other kids in the home who are not able to access. So it has actually increased the digital divide for those who are not able to afford. Also, there has been risk during the online classes. We had heard news that during the class time there has been some spammers and there was some inappropriate content that was actually being displayed. So there are these kind of risks when it comes to the internet and gadget use. These are not available in the case of offline mode of learning. And also the excessive screen time can lead to decreased sleep or eye strain. I'll be talking about the internet addiction part later. So the excessive screen time, even if it is not addictive, it can lead to eye strain, it can lead to decreased sleep, which can in turn affect the cognition, that is the intelligence, and affect the academic performance. And excessive use can lead to not only the mental effects, it can also lead to physical health effects. For example, it can lead to sleep deprivation, day-night reversal, and people reduce the food intake and water intake, which can lead to dehydration or malnutrition. Sitting at the same place without getting up to go to even to washroom, it can lead to pressure sores, that is ulcers at the place where you are sitting. It can lead to musculoskeletal problems like neck pain, sprains, etc. Again, safety issue, even though some part of it that it has led to some safety, but there are a lot of safety hazards that comes when it comes to internet and gadget use. For example, exposure to inappropriate content at inappropriate age. As I mentioned, while children are watching the content displayed by the teachers, there can be some inappropriate content that is getting displayed. If a parent is not there, then there can be the child may click on some other links that is appearing which is inappropriately. There have been incidents, there have been an increase in the cyberbullying where people are bullied through the internet. There can be stealing of personal information or money, and there have been events where adolescents have been lured by kidnappers. They just make friends with them through the online, and they ask to meet, and they have been kidnapped for money or for other reasons. So there has also been accidents when a person is using the mobile or the tablet while driving. and there has been increased risk of falls or bumping into nearby objects when a person just keeps on watching the mobile and just walks without seeing the outside world. And there has also been certain social media challenges like ice bucket challenge or tripod challenge, which has led to accidental deaths. So these are the various safety hazards that can occur with excessive internet and gadget use. And it has also been found that it can lead to various mental health effects like depression, anxiety, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or it has been associated with conduct disorder. And some people use it as use only the internet or gadgets alone to manage the distress or the negative emotions. It leads to reduction in the self-regulation capacity. They are not able to learn how to self-regulate when there is absence of internet or the gadget. They feel bored when there is no internet or gadget. So there is also feeling of loneliness or boredom when they're using this excessively. So if they're using it excessively, that's also poor work-life balance. They are having less amount of time that they spend with their family. There is poor interpersonal relationship and exposure to abusive contents like violence can also lead to violence. It has been found it can lead to increase in the violence among the viewers. So coming to the major challenge that is occurring these days with the excessive internet and the gadget use, it is the addiction. So in the addiction part, when it comes to the technology addiction or the internet addiction, the primary thing is the loss of control. When a child is not, or the child or the youngster is not able to control the amount of use, he knows that it is leading to some negative consequences in his life. For example, he is going away from his, he wanted to achieve something in his academics, he's not able to get it. He's getting lower marks. He's not able to spend time with his family or spend time with his friends. But despite that, he is doing it. He starts neglecting his needs and responsibilities. And when he's not able to open it, when he's not able to check the mail every once and then, when he's not able to check the Facebook every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, he feels irritable. He feels he's missing out something. He feels stressed out and anger, and progressively keeping on increasing the duration. Or he's just preoccupied with it, and he starts lying about the amount of use and what he is using to his family or friends. So these are all some of the symptoms that shows that this person might that we are addicted to the technology. So we have seen what are the potential benefits and what are the potential harms that can occur with internet and the gadgets. So where to draw the line and how? So as we see that internet and the gadget use has both its benefits as well as risks. So just like the food that we eat, what we see in internet or gadget need to be properly chosen and consumed in right quantity at right time. For example, if we eat in the balanced food, we know that if we eat only carbohydrates, we are not going to get the proteins or the fats, and we need all the components, that is the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats in the right quantity and at the right time. Similarly, in the case of internet, it is not that it should be used only for academic purpose or only for entertainment. We should have everything in the right quantity, and it has to be done at the right time for limited period. So the way we use actually determines whether the use is healthy or unhealthy. So balance in the case of adolescents and in the case of youth, we have to balance the screen time with other activities required for the overall development. For example, there should always be 1 hour of physical activity that should be built in our activity scheduling. There should be an adequate duration of sleep at night without any interruption. So the screen time should not interfere with this duration of sleep or the duration of physical activity or the time for college, school or work or the time for meals, hobbies and family time. So if any of these activities is being displayed due to the screen use, then we can consider that like this excessive screen and it should be reduced. And in order to reduce the physical strain, if you have to watch the screen continuously for a longer duration of time, because of online classes or due to some other reason, do not watch the screen continuously. So this is called as the 20-20-20 rule, in which after every 20 minutes, you are supposed to take a 20 seconds break and look at an object that is 20 feet away. So you have to look at the object 20 feet away for 20 seconds every 20 minutes in order to reduce the eye strain. Apart from that, drink lot of water, sit with a normal posture, with erect posture, with the back straight, and the device which is being operated should be at eye level in order to reduce the neck strain. And do not use mobile while engaged in activities that can increase risk of physical harm. For example, while walking, you're not supposed to keep on watching a mobile and walk. You can easily bump into things. While driving or while you are on the terrace, you're not supposed to keep on using the mobile. It can lead to some accidents. And always have a fixed time for using a mobile phone for work or academic purpose. And during the work or the academic purpose, keep notifications from the other social networking sites, for example, Facebook or Twitter. During your work or academic purpose, keep notifications from those sites off, and also non-essential apps in the off mode. This will prevent you from getting distracted from using the internet or the gadget for the work or academic purpose, and it will lead to benefit in using those internet and the gadget. And in case if you're feeling uncomfortable due to some reason, that when you're interacting with a person in the social media, you feel that you sometimes feel uncomfortable, inform the significant others or the responsible person. In the case of adolescents, please do inform your parents in case you're having any cyberbullying or safety problems. Also set some rules for the gadget use. Set screen or mobile free rooms. For example, the bedroom or the kitchen, please do not use screen or mobile, and that because the bedroom should be used only for the sleeping, and restrict mobile use during particular time. For example, during the family time, during the meals. So have a set rule for the gadget use which is personalized to you, and avoid exposure to the devices for at least 1 hour before bedtime, because it can interfere with your sleep. And never cyber safety rules should always be there with you when you are using internet or the gadget. Never share your personal details with any unknown strangers on the net. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, block that person or avoid any request by that person, and always use respectful words or language the way you will talk to other people face to face. Some people think that since internet is anonymous, if I use any words which is disrespectful, no one is going to know about it. So that is not the case. It can be easily traced by other people, and so always use respectful words. And whenever you're posting something, let it be a photo. Think twice before posting anything on the website, because it can be accessed by a larger population than intended, which can be used by people with malintentions who can use that photo to do something. So always think twice before posting anything on website, and respect privacy of other users or individuals also, similar to how you will want others to respect yourself. And seek advice or help from the parents or friends when you need, and seek professional help when there is difficulty in controlling the internet or gadget use. So concluding, so internet and gadget use, as we saw that it is very common among the adolescents and youth in India. Use has many benefits like easy access to information for education, improve social connections, improving creativity, etc. However, if we use it excessively or inappropriately without following the cyber safety rules, it can lead to various harms like internet addiction, technology addiction, physical harms also, cyberbullying, depression, anxiety, etc. So we have to use internet or gadgets in appropriate ways, and that is the need of the hour. And use gadgets in a balanced way for the right amount for the right time. And do not hesitate to seek professional help when needed. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.